Hello everyone, and welcome back to Logan's Tech Lab. So basically the topic of today's video is that I'm going to be showing you guys how to navigate the Unix command line, just some basic commands. Nothing too advanced, there's a ton that we could potentially get through, but I'm not going to be covering all that much in this video, just to keep it simple, keep it short, give you guys most of what you need to know to be at least a little bit proficient on the Unix command line. After this video, you'll be able to navigate through directories, though, just using the command line itself, rather than having to use File Explorer or Finder if you're on Mac, whatever the case may be. Right, so first thing, obviously, I'm in Windows here, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this in Windows, because I assume that's probably what a lot of you guys are running. But if you're running Mac, then all you have to do to access the Unix command line is just open up terminal. The same goes for Linux, but the reason I'm not really focusing on that is because I assume that any of you out there who are running Linux already know your way around the Unix command line just fine. But if not, Mac, Linux, just go ahead and open up the terminal. Now, Windows, unlike those other two operating systems, does not have support natively for the Unix command line, because if we go ahead and open command prompt, this is not actually the Unix command line. And actually, the shell that is here when you open up command prompt is one that is not really all that useful in the industry. It's not really used by many people, and it's definitely less intuitive than the Unix command line, so we're going to forget about that. This is about the Unix command line. I'm really going to end up saying the Unix command line in this video a lot of times, I'm realizing. But anyway, first things first, I'm going to show you guys how to get the Unix command line on Windows. If you're not on Windows, but instead you're on Mac or Linux, I'm going to put down a timestamp down below so you can skip this part. But just real quickly, I'm going to show you guys that. So first things first, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and open up Settings, and then go to Apps, and then click right here where it says Programs and Features. And then turn Windows features on or off. So what we're going to do is enable something called Windows Subsystem for Linux, which came out in 2016. Because in order to access the Unix command line in Windows, we are going to need to basically have Linux subsystem installed. So as you can see, I already have it installed, but for you, that box won't be pre-checked, so you're going to check it, then you're going to press OK, and then it'll probably ask you if you want to restart, because you're going to have to restart to apply the changes, so go ahead and press restart, and then once you've restarted, you will have the Windows subsystem for Linux. But then that's not all. I can't just go ahead and open up command prompt and then expect Unix commands to work. That's not how it works. What you have to do is just one more step. Go to the Windows Store. In the Windows Store, you're going to want to search for Ubuntu. And what you're basically going to be doing when you install this, I already have it, but in your case, you're just going to press install, wait for it to install. It's about 500 megabytes, I believe. And what you're basically installing, even though it's 500 megabytes, so you probably won't believe this, you're actually installing basically Linux as a subsystem of Windows. But all that's going to mean is just that you're going to have access to this shell suddenly. So here, basically, you're running the Linux command line, or Unix, within Windows. So yeah, once you've installed Ubuntu, this is Ubuntu right here that I have open, then you go ahead and open it. Once it's done installing for the Microsoft Store. Shouldn't take too long. Create a username and password. That's probably what it's going to prompt you to do. And then you're going to be able to start using commands, just like right here. Now, if you've gotten with me so far, and if you're having problems with that, feel free to leave a comment down below. But if you have gotten to that point successfully, now I'm going to start showing you some commands. So first of all, go to your root directory. So cd/, it's change directory, and then slash means root directory. So there's nothing in the hierarchy above this, basically. Like everything on the system is contained within the root directories at the top of the hierarchy, and there's many directories we can go into below that, essentially. That's just a quick way of explaining it. So then there's a command ls, which just shows everything that's within there, so everything within the root directory. So this is not going to look super familiar, but basically what we're doing is we're navigating the same file system that we would be navigating if we were using instead File Explorer. So none of this might not look that familiar though at this point, and there's a reason for that. So you might be thinking like, where's my C drive and stuff like that? So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So now that you're in the root directory, make sure it says /$ like that. Then you just press CD, and then you're going to want to enter. When I pressed ls, that listed everything that's directly within the root directory. So now what you're going to do is press CD, and then you're going to put mnt, because we want to go into that directory. And now when you press ls to see everything that's within the mnt, then we're going to be able to see all our drives. There's B, C, and X drives. So C drive is obviously the main one. I'm just going to switch there for now. CD, C. So there you can see, once you do CD and then put the name of the directory that you want to go into, as long as it's a subdirectory, then that brings us right into the C directory. So as you can see, now we're within MNT, and then under that we're within C. Now if I want to go back to MNT, I'll just show you how to do that real quick. Just press CD ... But there needs to be a space. So CD space ... enter, and now see, it brought me to the directory directly above that one. And now I can see again all my drives. But I do want to be in the C directory, so what I'm going to show you how to do now is CD space minus. That brings us to the previous directory, the directory that we were just in. So I'm going to press that, and it's going to bring us back to C. Okay? So I hope that all makes sense. And now we're going to just list what's inside of this drive here. And one more thing before we get into anything else is I just want to show you guys pwd. That's going to give us the current directory. If you're ever not quite sure where you are, just type pwd, even though it should say it right here, and it'll give you you're in MNT and C. There's nothing above that because MNT is directly below the root directory. So there's just those two. And right, so now that we're in C, you're going to be able to navigate most of the stuff. Like when you go into File Explorer, if you just press C, then you're able to see all this stuff. That's all stuff that you can navigate through this. Now we're in the same place. If you see, these files are not all of the ones we have here, because there's some here that are not going to appear here. But all the ones here are going to appear here. So, as you can see, we have all of those here. And we could just navigate through the command line. So, since the video is about that, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the command line, not File Explorer. So again, let's just do ls. This shows everything that we have. Some things permission denied. Let's not worry about that right now. Those are not folders that are actually visible to us in File Explorer anyway. So I previously made a folder called For UNIX Video, just so that I could show you guys this. So I'm going to switch to that folder, CD for, oh no, one more thing I want to show you guys first. So first I'm going to do CD ... to go to the previous directory. Now, instead of going CDC like that, I could also do CD/ and then do For UNIX Video. That way we could, and then there could, if there's another sub one we want to go into also, like I don't remember what I named the one below, but if say it was called folder 1, then we could do like that. Like you've probably seen like folder directories lined up like that before. So anyway, right now we're just going to do C For UNIX Video. So now we're in the For UNIX Video directory. ls. Oh, and if at this point, if at any point doesn't make that much sense, if you guys are following along and you get a little confused, just go into File Explorer and follow along. Like you're in C, so then you can just see everything that should be here. We're in For UNIX Video, as you can see. dir A1, dir A2, dir A3. Dir are just short for directory. So, but as you can see, those are the same three that appear right here. So, yeah. So say we want to make a new directory, like make a new folder. There's a way to do that really easily just from right here. Just make dir, mkdir. That's to make a new directory. And I'm going to name this one dir A4. See, it just created it. That easy. Dir A4. Now say I want to get rid of that directory. And be careful with this because there's no going back. It's not going to ask you to confirm. Just do rm dir and then dir A4 in this case. And now that directory is gone, as you can see. So we've removed it. But careful with that because you don't want to accidentally remove the wrong thing, since there's no like, do you want to remove this or anything like that. And so let's just go deeper into the folder right here. So dir A1, let's go into that one. ls, yeah, so I thought I did. I created a dir B1 within this, which is another directory below it. So we're actually going to go into that one too, dir b1. And then once we're here, there's nothing within here, I believe. Let's double check that. Yeah, see, ls, if it shows nothing, doesn't mean anything went wrong. It just means there's nothing in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new file, and within this directory, just a text file, like just the kind of file you would deal with Notepad. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the editor to create it. So Vim. Vim is basically, there's a VI editor, which is the counterpart of Emacs. Usually people use either Emacs or Vim, but we're going to use Vim right here, and we're going to do Vim, and then we're just going to call it file1.txt. And then now we just created a file called file1.txt within the directory that we were just in. Whenever you use commands to create files, you have to be mindful of which directory you're in, because that's where the file is going to be created naturally. So anyway, this is just a regular text file. Now what you're going to want to do first, to be able to edit it once you're in here, you have to press escape and then press I. And then now you should be able to edit it. So just like, we'll do hello world. Okay. And it's just a regular text file. It's just a way of editing it. You know, you have lines, like, you know, whatever. You could just write anything you want. So we're just going to go ahead and, for now, it's just another way of editing it, but the important thing is we created this file. It says right here, up here, you can even see mntc for Unix video, dir a1, dir b1, and then that's where we are currently with the file. It doesn't say the file we're editing, but the file we are currently editing is called, I believe, file1.txt. So now to leave the file and save it, what we're going to do is press first thing, press escape, and then do :WQ. That's going to save the file. Well, no, first :W. That just saves it. But now, if we do escape again, and then we do :WQ, then this is going to save and quit. So save and quit. Now we're back there, but as you can see, the file1.txt is still there because it got saved. Now say we want to remove that file. We just do rm, no dir this time because it's just a file, not a directory. Rm file1.txt. All right, so that's it. It's gone now. We're all good to go. Yeah, use cd/ will bring us to the root directory where we'll be able to then access. Remember, cd/ then cdmnt. And then at that point, you'll be in familiar territory since you have BCX. Those are just the letters of my drives. Yours will be whatever, and then you just CD into, say, your C drive, and then that's, oops, I think I did that. Okay. Yeah, so there. So now you can see everything, and that's just the same. Like from here, you should be able to access all your files that you would normally be able to access. So that's just a cool way of getting around with the Unix command line. And if you're using Linux, you're especially going to be interested in doing this because Linux relies a lot on the command line with like even downloading stuff directly from the Unix command line and updating, and people on Linux always say it's easier to do downloads and updates and stuff like that. But you could use it in Windows with the Windows subsystem for Linux, and of course you could also use it in Mac and Linux more easily natively with the terminal. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions about how to do specific things in the Unix command line, then just leave down below a comment, and I'll try to address all the comments you guys leave for how to do specific things. But this is just an introductory video. If you guys want to see more on the Unix command line, let me know down below if that's something you want to see, because I haven't done anything like this before. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and comment. I really appreciate it, and think about subscribing. I will definitely have some more videos coming soon, and maybe some low-level hardware stuff or game reviews. There's a lot of different possibilities, and if you guys want to see something in particular, make sure to go ahead and tell me that down below in the comments. Alright, guys. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.